northern Nebraska's high plains. And World of Whitetail host Ron Spomer's hunting for the trophy bucks that make this country famous.
If you're a rifleman, man, a setup like this is perfect. I'm up on a hillside, so I've got a commanding view of the valley and across to the other side. Man, that brush pocket over there looks hot. There's got to be deer in there. Just come out of there. I've got tight little pockets. I can't trust a deer to mosey through there and feed and give me a perfect shot. So we're sitting in this choke point, hoping we're going to catch him passing through, but man, it's going to be a quick shot. There he is. Yeah, that's it. There we go. That's a legal buck. Oh, Mac, he's going. Stop there, buddy. Oh yeah, he has no idea I'm here. I think I'll shoot him. Here goes. Ready?
Winchester's World of Whitetail.
Once the home of buffalo and the traditional lands of the Great Sioux Nation, northern Nebraska holds big whitetail bucks, as World of Whitetail host Ron Spomer knows.
Kiapaha, Niobrara, the Elkhorn. Romantic names for romantic little unknown rivers in north central Nebraska, and a great place to hunt whitetail deer. There aren't a lot of people living up here, but there are a lot of big whitetails, and we're going to find out just how many and just how big they get in this little special corner of Nebraska on Winchester World of Whitetail.
To find those whitetail, Spomer has joined forces with Double K Guide Service, which hunts both sides of the South Dakota and Nebraska state line.
I've hunted this sort of country before. We've got open country mixed in with some brush and some cedar trees, and then of course riparian habitats down along the rivers and creeks. That's really made for some great whitetail habitat here in Nebraska. Finding the deer might be a little bit of a problem because, once again, property boundaries. Our outfitter, Double K, should have plenty of good ranches locked up for us, but we can't be wandering off those ranches. So we've got to figure out how to get the deer on the property we can hunt. Glass and stalks, probably the hunting technique we'll use. And if you're on the right place and your outfitter's found a good spot for you, there should be plenty of good whitetails to pick from. I don't anticipate a lot of problem finding a good deer, except for we've got 3 days to do it. And it's always tough. Do you shoot the first 130, 140 class buck you see, or do you hold out for a bigger one and then maybe not get a crack at it? We're going to find out.
Born in South Dakota, Spomer has extensive knowledge of Nebraska whitetail, but what Double K and guide Joe McDougall have to offer is access to prime hunting ground.
You Joe?
I'm Joe.
Great.
Good to meet you. Having any trouble finding the place?
No, you gave me great directions. It's pretty simple. Nebraska, follow the road, you get there.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, I'm sorry for the rush on it, but I've only got 3 days to hunt, so I just really need to get right to it.
Yeah, that's fine. You want me to hop in and I'll show you where to go?
Oh, absolutely. We're ready to
Okay.
go. Yeah,
all right.
Perfect.
The hunt has a short time limit, so Spomer needs to make sure that when his one and possibly only shot presents itself, he knows his rifle is dead on.
Well, given the thumps and bumps this rifle's been suffering over the last few weeks riding in the truck, it's probably a good idea to check it out. Okay, hold your ears. This is a muzzle brake and it's gonna blow them out. That looks about right. I need some exercise. Let's go down there. It should be close. If I'm not mistaken, that bullet's right where it's supposed to be. Most people say probably a dead deer there.
With the rifle zeroed in, Spomer and guide McDougall head out. But it doesn't take long for them to spot a sample of what this northern Nebraska country has to offer.
Oh, look at that deer.
Oh, Joe, look at that, look at that. Oh my God, that looks like a big buck.
Oh yeah, he's nice.
That's gotta be a 160 class buck.
Oh, at least.
I gotta get out and look at him. Oh my gosh, what a buck. Oh man, look at the spread on him. He's working a doe on that ridge, that's why he's out there.
Yeah.
He's gonna stay with her.
Yeah, he's a tank. Wow.
Oh, we can just go down this draw. I bet you we can close within 300 yards of him just by following that big draw right up there.
Yeah, we could. We don't have permission on this property, though.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the story of my life. He's just right there. Those bucks, tins, and does like that are so easy. All you'd have to do is get past the doe. But look at the rack of that guy. He's the whitest one I've seen here.
Yeah, he's really tall, too.
Yeah, that G2 and 3 are about the same length.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a nice buck. High and wide and handsome, as they say.
And safe.
High, wide, handsome, and safe, yeah. Safe, my gosh. Oh, I wish you could go after him.
There's no time to spend, though, drooling over the bucks across the fence. And as the first day of the hunt turns to evening, there's some serious scouting to get done.
Looks like some pretty good country out there, Joe.
Yeah, what I want you to do tonight is head over in that direction in those draws. You can hunt, just stay inside the fences. Don't cross any fences and you'll be on the property.
All right.
I'd probably hold out for something 140 or better tonight. And I'm gonna split off from you. I'm gonna go back over this way and do some glassing down some draws where they come up to these fields. If we split up, we'll cover more territory that way.
Well, this north wind, I'll just work north-northwest, check out all the draws, maybe sit on them a little bit, see what comes out, try to intercept it.
Exactly.
And if you see a bigger one, come and get me.
I will.
I don't want to miss them.
All right, well, good luck.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Yep. I saw a couple nice bucks.
He's magnificent.
Yeah, this is one of the feed fields that they use here.
I'd like to be a half mile closer to him.
It's the first evening, and Winchester World of Whitetail host Ron Spomer and Double K guide Joe McDougall have divvied up the scouting territory to work on.
Do I look sneaky? You probably think it's silly, but this is actually an effective stalking technique out here in these open plains. All you need is a fence line with just a little bit of cover on it. I don't know why. But when you're stalking down a fence line nice and slow like that, bent over, whitetails sometimes as close as 300 yards will pretty much ignore you. I don't know if they think you're a cow walking down that fence line or what. It's not much cover, but it's something. Go slowly and just hunch over like this and follow a fence line, no matter how little cover there is along it.
Having worked the fence line, Ron's efforts at scouting have him glassing a good-sized buck and wishing he could cut the range at least in half.
I'd like to be a half mile closer to him.
Let's see how far away that bugger is. I've never shot at a deer over probably 424 is the longest I can remember. God, he's magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. There he goes. Damn. Could have been better, but his G2s and 3s or something else.
Spomer's scoutings left him with a positive impression of the hunting territory. But now he has to make his way back to McDougall to work out a plan for the morning.
What'd you find, Joe?
Oh, I saw some pretty good looking stuff. What'd you see?
Well, it's good looking country. I only saw a couple of bucks though, and they were heading off to the south.
I saw a couple nice bucks. I think I know where I want you to sit in the morning. They weren't like 170s or anything, but they were nice, 140 or above.
Go there in the morning?
Yep, that's where I'll sit you up.
Let's go eat.
All right.
It's my second favorite adventure.
Whitetails have come a long way from the days when the appearance of a single one in certain places was newsworthy. Today, they range throughout virtually every corner of the continent.
I regularly hear that whitetails are remarkably adaptable, and that's because they are. They'll live way up in the boreal forest, almost up where moose and bears and big ravens are the only animals, but they'll also be way down in the Florida Keys and out in the deserts. But a lot of ranchers would rather see big mule deer. Others are realizing whitetails are not only tougher than mule deer and they survive better, but they adapt to the new habitats that the ranchers have themselves put in. So if they're planting corn down on the river, some alfalfa fields and some wheat fields, you've got to expect whitetails to be there. It's not that they're necessarily out competing the mule deer, it's just that we're providing the habitat that they love and they're going to thrive in it. So whether it's a dry pine forest environment or a wet swamp or a deep canyon, somehow our whitetails, like us, learn to survive in the craziest and hardest places. And I think that's why we love them so much. They just are tough and adaptable. They're sort of the all-American deer. You know, the only thing better than getting to hunt whitetails all fall? Getting to hunt them in a brand new Ram Outdoorsman truck. Hey, trucks have come a long way in the last 40 years. When I was a kid, to pull a trailer, you had to get somebody to build you a hitch and put it on, and then you had to crawl underneath and cut some wires and wire up the harness. Good Lord. Hey, Ram's got it all figured out for us now. They've got two, a 4-prong and a 7-prong, and they're both under these dust-proof lids. So despite all the nasty dirt and debris we've been blowing on here all fall on our hunts for Winchester World of Whitetail, we're still clean and ready to plug in and go. All we need now is a trailer.
Sunup the second morning, and Spomer and guide McDougall are heading to where their scouting the night before showed them where the big bucks are likely to be.
Yeah, this is one of the feed fields that they use here.
Yeah, I can see some at that far end.
Yeah.
Look like a bunch of does and fawns.
Looking back, a couple of them are right now into the draw where they came out. Maybe something else is coming out. I'm gonna put you back in.
Back in where they're headed?
Back in where they're headed, but I'm gonna sit here and watch and see what's out here at first light.
Again, it's a divide and conquer strategy, with McDougall keeping an eye on one area, while Spomer hikes out to another, and soon spots 2 good bucks on the move.
There's another one walking toward us. That's a good one. See how these guys got broken tines on one side. Dang. Puts him out of the running. Boy, that one back in the trees now. He's gonna move after a doe. Oh, he's a heavy-bodied old guy. Big 4x4. Jumped over the fence now and he's heading in. There, he jumped again. Great. I would like a better look at that buck. This one walking around out here with all the busted up antlers. Got a nice main beam on him. He's a good 140s class buck before he broke up. Fair buck. He's worth photographing. Not quite worth shooting.
Even though it's only a 3-day hunt, Spomer doesn't let himself succumb to temptation, but decides to head back to McDougall and see if they can find a better deer.
I saw several bucks, but nothing I want to shoot this early yet, you know. I mean, I know I'm pushing my luck here with a 3-day hunt, but I'm seeing enough movement, enough does and activity that I'm going to hold on for one of those 140 classers if I can.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You can't shoot the big bucks if you shoot the first nice buck that comes by.
That's what they keep telling me. That doesn't sound as good when the hunt's over and you haven't shot one, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good excuse the first couple of days.
Yeah.
This is prime time, peak period. The deer have so much brush and cover, by the time I pick them up, they can be out of it.
Okay, that's him. Stop there, buddy.
The hunt's last day, and at dawn, host Ron Spomer and guide Joe McDougall prepare to hunt full out to last light, drawing their plan in detail.
We're about right here right now. This is that cornfield that we were looking at.
Last night?
Yep. And there's like a drainage, like a canyon that runs down through here. What I want you to do is walk around this way.
Go to the north?
Yep, keep the wind in your face.
Okay.
And walk up to the edge until you can hear that water running through there. If there's a river down there, you'll be able to hear that.
Okay.
And they come out of that crop field and they move back into there through that area where I'm gonna have you set up.
All right.
And I'm gonna wipe out our map here so nobody horns in on our spot. All right. That's your buck, nobody else's.
Oh, I like the way you think. I hope everybody else in the state agrees with you.
Spomer's playing the string all the way out, after passing on the buck the night before. Now he's going all in on the one he wants on this last day.
All right, Joe.
What I want you to do is go in here about 400 yards. You'll find a place where the canyons kind of come together. It's a little bit narrower and you can cover it all with a rifle in there. What they're doing is they're coming from over this way off the crop fields and going in there through that pinch point.
All right.
And hopefully you have some luck.
Spomer's success today won't depend on luck alone. A lifetime of hunting the high plains between Nebraska and South Dakota have taught him how to use the terrain.
All right, here's the play. The wind is out of the south. I need to get on that hillside, and to keep my scent from filling in that bottom where the deer are probably bedded or traveling, I've got to get around them, so I'm looping around this fence line here. Gonna get on that hilltop so I can look down into that travel route. Up and down these draws are where these deer travel. So I've got to get a high position. Boxes, box blinds, and tower blinds are superfluous in this country. The land itself is plenty tall enough. And if you just sit still on an open grassy hillside, there's so much country here that these deer aren't going to see you. And if they do, they probably will ignore you, walk right by. So I'm going to get up there, sit by some yuccas or maybe a little cedar tree and watch down into that draw for traveling deer.
Although Ron's heading where the deer are, he's soon going to learn that the location has special challenges in store. It will involve being prepared to take a snapshot.
We don't have a big chunk of property for me to roam. I love to cover ground, especially during the rut when the bucks are moving, because they're so often out in these open pastures or chasing a doe across them, and they will go for miles out in that open country. So I like to get up there, spot my deer, run in, cut them off, and take them. The problem with this setup is it's so tight. Even though I've got 300 yards there, 270 yards to that side, and 265 yards to that face, I've just got little pockets. And the deer have so much brush and cover, by the time I pick them up, they can be out of it. But we've got a great little choke point here in a travel corridor, even though we're surrounded by pasture, and there are no feed fields to really pull deer into this area. It's classic high plains canyon country with some oaks and cedars, and they love to hide and bed in this stuff. This morning, oh my gosh, I was freezing up here, shaking. My feet were cold, everything was cold. I'm gonna start stripping now because it's getting warm. And that presents another challenge, as everybody knows you don't want warm weather when you're deer hunting because it slows down the activity. But we do have the rut working in our favor. I don't care what the heat's doing, those deer have got to rut when they're in season. And the does have been in season now for at least 3 days. 3 days ago, started seeing the first breeding activity. So this is prime time, peak period. Gotta stick it out. That's not one back there, is it? He's going right up that steepest bank.
He's skylined. That was our deer.
Gone. Up and over the ridge. By the time I saw him coming up out of the trees and got into the sticks, he was on the skyline and I couldn't shoot. I am probably going to take the first good buck that I see. So I'll take anything that looks like it's mature, and I'll have to make my assessment in a hurry. The way they pop out of here. That's a legal buck. Oh, Mac, he's going.
Stop there, buddy. Oh yeah, he has no idea I'm here.
I think I'll shoot him.
Here goes.
For Ron Spomer, his northern Nebraska hunt has come down to waiting above a choke point and hoping that a traveling buck will give him time to make a clean shot.
Wow, it's a slow day today. But this is a great place to be sitting during the rut because bucks are chasing does and there's a little bit of a funnel right down this drainage. And early this morning, a nice buck came up over here out of the trees, and by the time I saw him, got into my sticks and on him, and it took all of this long, he was on the skyline. You just don't take those skyline shots. It's afternoon already. Great time to stay out here. Most hunters make the mistake of going in for that midday snooze. Much as I appreciate a good snooze, when the rut is on, you need to stay out in the woods. Got my scope all set up here. I can dial any power I need. I keep it set at around 6, maybe 8 to cover this valley. If something's right below me though, I can crank it down really quickly. If it says way out there, I can crank it up. I've got tight little pockets. I can't trust a deer to mosey through there and feed and give me a perfect shot. I won't even have time probably to assess antlers all that much, but you've got to be quick. You've got to know how to use those sticks, how to pick them up, move them with the rifle, and get into them in a hurry. Because those little pockets and holes, a buck on the move gets through them in a hurry. Man, that brush pocket over there looks hot. There's got to be deer in there. Just come out of there. There he is. Yeah, that's it. There we go. That's it, that's it. That's a legal buck. Oh, Mac, he's going.
Stop there, buddy. Oh yeah, he has no idea I'm here.
I think I'll shoot him.
Here goes.
Ready? Yeah! Looked like a heart shot. Whoo, baby! Thank goodness I was ready. Boy, that's the way it sometimes happens. You're on your last day, it's the last afternoon, about 2 o'clock. I thought it was going to be pretty grim in here because there wasn't much activity today. That was activity enough right there. Howdy, Joe. How you been?
Oh, just glassing. I heard you shoot.
Yeah.
Just once, must have been a good one, huh?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah?
So I was going to jump the creek and go get him.
Yeah.
You want to help?
Yep, I'll come along. You said he went this way? All right.
Going about like that. See anything?
Yeah, there's some blood over here.
Got some?
Yep.
All right.
Looks like he was on this trail right in front of you there.
Hey, there he is. I'm up under the cedar.
That's a nice buck.
Yeah, looks like a good 3-year-old. Not the 4 I prefer to take, but beggars can't be choosers on the last day.
No, not at all.
There, he's been rubbing fresh here. Still some moist cedar, it looks like, huh? Or maybe the sumac. Almost a 10-inch tine right there. Pretty close. 9 anyway, a little over 9.
You got a lot of this 4-point stuff out here, don't you?
Yeah, in places it seems like some years we get a lot of 4-point racks. It's just a genetic trait we have, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think too many people would complain for a last day buck of that size.
Definitely not.
I'm certainly not. All right, let's get to work. Mostly you.
All right.
Yeehaw! There we go!
Whose idea was this shooting this deer over here?